We've all made the promise, this time I'll wake up early. But that 5 a.m. alarm rings, and before your eyes even open, your finger finds the snooze button. 10 more minutes. Then 15. Stop blaming yourself for being lazy. The system you're using was never built to win. If you want to stop hitting snooze, you need to understand the single powerful thing that's missing. Let's be honest, we've all been there. It's 5 a.m., the world outside is quiet, still wrapped in that deep, velvety darkness. And then, there it is, that insistent little beep, beep, beep from your phone. That siren call. You set the alarm last night with the best intentions. A fresh start, a new discipline, a promise whispered in the dark. This time, I'm actually going to do it. You pictured yourself journaling, getting a head start on your goals, maybe even watching the sunrise with a perfectly brewed cup of coffee. You felt like a champion just for setting the alarm. But in the cold, harsh reality of the pre-dawn, the script changes. Your brain hasn't even finished rebooting, yet your hand, operating on pure muscle memory, performs the great morning betrayal. Snooze. That little tap feels like the most luxurious, rational decision you could ever make. 10 more minutes, you tell yourself. 10 minutes of peace. 10 minutes of borrowed bliss. Then, those 10 minutes turn into 15. 15 minutes morphs into a frantic last-minute dash. The moment of peace you bought is immediately replaced by a heavy blanket of guilt and rushing. You're suddenly slamming drawers, swallowing cold coffee, and realizing that the morning you planned, the calm, focused, powerful morning, has evaporated. You're back on the treadmill, already feeling behind, all because of one small, seemingly harmless button. Why is this button so powerful? Why does that soft pillow win the war against our biggest dreams day after day? It's an almost universal experience, isn't it? We've all been trapped in that cycle. The promise you made to yourself the night before feels so distant when you're facing the cozy, gravitational pull of the sheets. That soft bedding transforms into a luxurious, inescapable fortress, and your dreams become these wispy, abstract things that just can't compete with immediate comfort. The frustrating part is the aftermath. You finally roll out of bed late and feeling defeated, and what's the first thing you do? You grab your phone. You start scrolling. And that's when the real pain kicks in. You see snippets of other people's lives. People already running, already posting their completed tasks. People seemingly living the exact life of purpose and energy you swore you were going to start today. It's a silent, self-inflicted torture. You whisper to the screen, to the world, to yourself. Tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll start for real. Here's the kicker. This isn't a problem of laziness. I need you to ditch that word right now. You're not lazy. You're ambitious. You wouldn't set that alarm if you didn't have goals burning inside you. This isn't even fundamentally a problem of discipline, yet. The issue is that you are trying to use a system. The simple act of setting an early alarm. For a massive emotional battle that it was never designed to win. You are bringing a teaspoon to a flood. Think about it. The 5 a.m. alarm doesn't fail because you genuinely needed more sleep. Often, you could have gotten up. It fails because your reason for waking up wasn't strong enough. The equation is simple. Comfort is guaranteed, immediate, and known. Your purpose, your goals, your great version of self. Those are abstract, distant, and require effort. Right now, your bed is winning the competition because your why is too weak to compete with the immediate pleasure of staying warm. You are asking your rational mind to step up and fight your primal need for ease and rest, and in that moment of grogginess, your comfort-seeking brain will win every single time. It's simply the path of least resistance. So the struggle isn't with the snooze button itself. The struggle is with a weak narrative. It's the moment-to-moment decision where comfort holds a massive, unfair advantage over a vaguely defined purpose. We keep blaming the alarm or the lack of willpower, but we need to look deeper. We need to stop fighting the symptoms and address the root cause. We haven't given our brain a reason to get up that is more exciting, more urgent, and more compelling than the simple, sweet temptation of 10 more minutes of sleep. And that is where we need to start. Because until your why is louder than your pillows, you're going to keep hitting snooze. All right, let's peel back the layers on this morning's struggle. As we established, this isn't about you being lazy. It's about mismatched incentives. You're trying to win the morning with willpower alone, and willpower is a finite resource, especially when you're half asleep. What really changes everything isn't a new routine, or a fancy habit tracker, or even an earlier bedtime. It's what we call the why. And let me tell you, Your why cannot be a timid little flicker. It needs to be a roaring, self-sustaining firework. Here's the simple truth the world rarely talks about. Waking up early isn't the real goal. Waking up with a purpose that pulls you out of bed is the goal. Think about those people who seem to effortlessly leap out of bed at 4:30 a.m. and get everything done. You probably assume they have some superhuman discipline, right? Maybe they do, but their primary engine isn't discipline, it's clarity. They have a reason that is emotionally heavier, more compelling, and frankly more exciting than the feeling of a warm duvet. If your only reason for waking up is I want to be more productive, or I heard successful people do it, your comfortable bed will win every single time. Why? Because those reasons are vague. They don't have a soul-stirring, visceral connection to your personal life. Your mind knows when you're faking purpose, and when you're faking it, the snooze button becomes the rational choice. We need to shift the frame entirely. Stop focusing on the time on the clock. Start focusing on the person you are becoming. Let's look at the analogy of the soldier we mentioned before. They wake up before sunrise, often in miserable conditions, without a second thought. Are they more disciplined than you? Perhaps. But the real difference is their why. They aren't waking up just to feel productive. They are waking up for a mission, for their unit, for a purpose far greater than their personal comfort. They are pulled by meaning. That's the exact sensation we need to cultivate in your own life. We need to find your personal mission that is so powerful it acts like an emotional magnet, pulling you upward, away from the mattress. So here's the most important question you can ask yourself tonight, before you even think about setting the alarm. Why do I want to wake up early? Dig deep. Don't settle for the first answer. Is it just to check a box? That's a flicker. Is it because you're tired of the person you've become? The one who procrastinates, the one who feels regret at 10 a.m. And you want to seize that early morning to create the first draft of the person you know you could be? The focused, unshakable, creative person who has time for their passion project. That is a firework. If your why is connected to something visceral, your financial freedom, the dream of a new career, finishing that book you've always wanted to write, or building a legacy for your family, it suddenly transforms. When you wake up for something that truly sets your soul on fire, sleep loses its control over you. You don't need motivation anymore. You are moved by a purpose that feels like a necessity, not an option. It's the difference between saying, I guess I should get up, and declaring, I must rise to become the person who can achieve this goal. This is the secret. Stop trying to beat the snooze button. Start building something that the snooze button can't touch. Instead of focusing on getting up early, focus on becoming who you're meant to be. Once your purpose is clear, once you have that burning, visceral reason, the logistics of the morning become secondary. The battle shifts from fighting comfort to embracing opportunity. The energy that was previously spent arguing with yourself is now channeled into action. Now that we have the ultimate why, that firework of purpose, we need a clear, defined path to actually get you out of bed and into action. We need a system. Because a strong why combined with a smart system is the formula for the unstoppable morning. Now that you know the secret, that your why needs to be a firework, you might be asking, but how do I actually build that launch pad and stay consistent for a month? If you're ready to stop whispering tomorrow and start living the life you designed, I've put everything we just discussed, the firework why, the launchpad system, and the daily blueprint, into a step-by-step guide. My new ebook, 30 Days to a Better You, gives you the exact 30-day framework, challenges, and accountability tools to transform your mornings and build unstoppable momentum. Don't just think about becoming a better you, start doing it. Click the link below right now to download 30 Days to a Better You and turn your purpose into a daily practice. Let's make the next 30 days count. We found the firework. That big, compelling why that makes waking up feel necessary. That is the engine. But even the best engine needs a perfect launch pad, a carefully designed system that minimizes friction between sleep and success. If you rely on morning willpower to figure out what to do, your brain will revert to its default setting, comfort. We need to create a simple, elegant system that makes the next right thing the easiest thing to do. The secret to winning the morning is actually winning the night before. This isn't about being perfect. It's about reducing the number of decisions you have to make when your brain is operating on low power. So let's build your 5 a.m. launchpad. The first critical component is what I call the 3-step morning blueprint. Before your head even touches the pillow tonight, you must write down the first 3 specific, non-negotiable actions you will take the moment your feet hit the floor. And when I say specific, I mean specific. Not exercise, but do 10 push-ups and 20 squats. Not work on my project, but write the introduction to chapter 3 for 15 minutes. These first 3 actions must be things that give your morning direction and activate your purpose. They are the immediate proof that your why matters more than your mattress. Crucially, these 3 things must not include scrolling, no checking Instagram, TikTok, or the news. That is a distraction vortex that instantly kills momentum. Checking messages/email. That's letting other people's agendas hijack your most precious time. Your morning is reserved for your calling. Your launchpad actions should be simple, momentum-building acts, like 5 minutes of free-flow journaling, just getting the thoughts out of your head and onto paper. 1 quick glass of water and 5 minutes of stretching. Physical motion wakes up your body. Reading 10 pages of a challenging book, instantly feeding your brain with high-quality input. The power of the 3-step blueprint is psychological. You're not waking up to face a vague, overwhelming mountain of tasks. You're waking up to execute 3 simple, pre-planned actions. You win the moment by focusing on the immediate move, not the entire game. The second component of the launchpad is friction removal. We want to make the path to your purpose frictionless and the path to comfort high friction. In the evening, ask yourself, what tiny steps can I take now that will make the morning ridiculously easy? Lay out your workout clothes. Right down to your socks and shoes next to the bed. Make it impossible to miss. Set up your coffee machine or tea kettle so all you have to do is hit the power switch. Place your journal and a pen right on the desk where you plan to sit. Put your phone, the alarm, across the room. This is non-negotiable. You have to physically get out of bed to silence it. Once you're standing, the inertia is broken, and you've won the first micro battle. Think of your morning routine like a railway track. Before you go to sleep, you are laying down the track perfectly, so that when the morning comes, all you have to do is power up the engine, your firework why, and the momentum will take care of the rest. If you don't plan your actions, you will default to your environment. If your phone is the first thing you see, your morning will belong to the scroll. If your pre-planned actions are the first thing you see, your morning will belong to your dream. This system isn't about crushing yourself with huge tasks. It's about initiating motion. Because motion builds momentum, and momentum builds consistency. And consistency, my friends, is the bedrock of results. By committing to just those first 3 simple steps, you are telling your brain, the day has started. We are moving. We are honoring our purpose. You've gone from being a sleeper to a starter in under 3 minutes. And that early victory sets the entire tone for the rest of your day. We've all been conditioned to believe a lie, that you need to feel motivated before you can start moving. We wait for that bolt of energy, that sudden surge of inspiration, and when it doesn't arrive, we conclude we just don't have enough discipline. But here's the truth. Motivation doesn't create motion. Motion creates motivation. Think about it like this. Your brain is a lazy, brilliant machine. It hates wasting energy. When you wake up, the vast distance between in bed and working on my dream is so great that your brain immediately says, nope, too hard. Let's wait until we feel like it. That wait time is the trap. The real secret is that you don't need to feel pumped up. You just need to start moving. This is why our 3-step blueprint from topic 3 is a game changer. It bypasses the need for massive motivation because the steps are so small, so immediate, and so clearly defined that your brain barely has time to argue. Your first victory of the day isn't climbing a mountain. It's completing that first, tiny, pre-written task. It could be 5 minutes of journaling or 10 push-ups or reading a single page of your book. These are acts of micro-commitment. They are so achievable that they generate an immediate, powerful chemical reward in your brain. You've created a tiny spark of success. And that tiny spark, that small completed action, is the true engine of motivation. It's what we call momentum. Momentum is the real currency of consistency. When you complete your first step, your brain receives a signal. I did it. I kept my promise. This feels good, and your brain naturally wants to chase that feeling again. That small feeling of accomplishment makes the second pre-written task easier, and the second task makes the third task almost automatic. This is the antidote to the snooze button cycle. You're not relying on a fleeting emotion. You are relying on physics. Motion builds momentum. Look, You don't need to do everything perfectly. You don't need a flawless 5 a.m. routine right out of the gate. You just need to prioritize starting. Focus entirely on getting those first 3 tasks completed. If your goal is to write a novel and you only manage 15 minutes before the kids wake up, you haven't failed. You've successfully added 15 minutes of motion to your goal. You have successfully built momentum. That's a win. The biggest enemy isn't the alarm, it's comfort. Comfort is the soft, insidious blanket that convinces you to postpone your potential. It's the voice that says you deserve a break or you can start later. But comfort doesn't disappear until you make a conscious, daily decision that your dream matters more. Every single morning, the universe presents you with a choice. Do you stay asleep with your excuses or do you rise with your purpose? Both choices are, in their own way, difficult. It's hard to get out of a warm bed, but it's much harder to live with the regret of knowing you ran from your potential. Only one choice changes your life. This is the moment where the rubber meets the road. Tonight, when you set your alarm, don't say, "I'll try to wake up early." That word, try, gives your brain an easy out. Instead, commit. Declare it, "I will rise for my purpose." Say it again and again until that commitment feels heavy and real. Because when the alarm rings, you're not fighting an external noise. You are fighting the gravitational pull of your own habit, the habit of choosing ease. And once you win that first battle, the one between comfort and your calling, everything else becomes dramatically easier. You've taught yourself the lesson. I am a person who starts. I am a person who keeps my promise. That early morning victory is the powerful momentum that will carry you through the rest of your day, ensuring that the version of you who hits the pillow tonight is one step closer to the unstoppable person you were meant to be. You've done the work. You asked the hard question about your purpose. You built the launch pad the night before. You ignored the voice of comfort and executed the first 3 movements. What happens next is a profound, fundamental shift in your entire identity. You realize that success isn't about the hour you wake up. It's about the hour you stop running from your potential. For weeks, you told yourself that waking up early wasn't possible for you. You looked at others and believed they had a secret gene for discipline. That was a lie. You were just confusing the chasing of motivation with the building of momentum. Now, when that 5 a.m. alarm rings, it's no longer a struggle. It's not an enemy. It has become a reminder. A powerful daily reminder that you are becoming someone better. Think about the new narrative you're living. You used to be the person who defaulted to comfort, who broke their promise, who started the day with guilt. That person is gone. You are now the person who is consistent, who honors their commitments, and who builds momentum before the rest of the world has even opened its eyes. That feeling, the feeling of a promise kept before breakfast, is like emotional rocket fuel. It spills over into every area of your life. Because if you can win the first battle of the day, the one against your own primal need for ease, you can win the rest of the battles. The hard email, the tough conversation, the commitment to the gym. You're no longer waking up for the world, for social media validation, or for some abstract definition of success. You are getting up for you. This consistency isn't just about achieving goals. It's about character development. Every time you rise with purpose and execute your plan 3 steps, you're actively carving a new identity. You are becoming the person who doesn't need external motivation because you are powered by internal meaning. And this leads to the ultimate reward, the unstoppable identity. The unstoppable you is the stronger, more focused, and unshakable person that you dream about becoming. When you consistently show up for your purpose, you build undeniable evidence that you are capable of achieving great things. This evidence replaces doubt. It makes you resilient. When life inevitably throws a challenge your way, your brain doesn't panic. It remembers the 5 a.m. victory. It remembers the hundreds of times you chose commitment over comfort. It realizes, we know how to do hard things. We have a system. The 5 a.m. hour is no longer a draining requirement. It is your sacred, protected space. It's the only time of day that belongs entirely to your highest self, dedicated solely to your dream, your freedom, and your version of greatness. When you invest that first hour in yourself, the rest of the day feels like you're playing offense, not defense. You've already made progress before the distractions even begin. You've filled your own cup first, making you more capable of handling everything else the day throws at you. This new life isn't about being perfect. There will be mornings when you sleep in. You're human. But the difference is that now, Those mornings are the exception, not the rule. They are a necessary rest, not a surrender to comfort. And when you slip, you don't spiral into guilt because your overall momentum is too strong to be derailed by a single hiccup. You simply reset your launchpad for the next night and declare, I will rise for my purpose. So, the next time your alarm rings, don't hit snooze. Don't hesitate. Get up. Not because you have to, but because the most powerful version of you, the focused, alive, unstoppable one, is already waiting there at 5 a.m., ready to start building the life you were meant to live.